We're here at Unpub 3 with Garret Herdter, who's brought 2 games with him, Rolling for Amusement and Rusted Bullet. So we're going to let Garret talk about his games and tell us some more about them, and go for it.
Well, John, thanks for having me come out this weekend. It's been a great time here at Unpub. And we've had a lot of fun playing Rusted Bullet and Rolling for Amusement. We've been going back and forth with the games. And right now I've got a sample here of Rusted Bullet, which is a card and dice game for 2 to 6 players. It plays at about 45 minutes or even a half hour for 2 players, up to an hour for up to 6 players, and ages 8 on up. And it's basically a game where you're really just going after each other. It's a very light, fun, attacking kind of game where it's a little bit like a Halo-ish feel, where you're running in to attack other guys. And the theme is that we're all warriors from all over the universe coming to compete in an event to be crowned the greatest warrior in the universe. And you have cards that you'll be playing on your turn to go after each other. So as you can see, there's kind of a basic setup for 4 players, and each player has a character card. And on their card will have a special ability that each person will have, and we deal these out randomly, and you have a die for their life. And on your turn, you're going to be, you can discard down to 1 card, then draw back up to 5, and you'll just be playing your cards to either equip characters or to use the dice in the middle, which is in the cache, to fire at other players. So on a typical turn, someone might play some Rusted Bullet cards in their hand, and there's more cards than this. This is just a few of the cards in the game. They might play a bunch of Rusted Bullet cards in their hand, and they can roll from the cache different Rusted Bullet dice. And so I could shoot at another character and roll those dice, and if there's a hit, then they take a hit. If there's 2 flesh wounds equal a hit, and then a misfire would mean your gun jammed and it eliminated a hit. But then other players can play cards from their hand. So if I hit the munitions master over here, he may play a card that has him duck out of the way, or he may have an equipped card around him that would have a helmet or a bulletproof vest, just something to help out. And when a player takes the eliminating shot on another character, then the person who did that will get a victory banner. And then that person will take another card, another warrior card, and the other one's eliminated, and someone else will come in on their team, another character that they'll play. So no one is ever eliminated out of the game and sitting out waiting for the game to be done. So everyone will be playing the whole time until the game ends, because as soon as somebody gets 2 victory banners, then they win. And it's just a lot of fun, a lot of dice rolling, a lot of dice throwing. There's some of these unique cards that may have a grenade, where you're throwing the grenade die in front of somebody, and it's an old rusted grenade, so it might not go off, so they get to pick it up and throw it either back at you or at somebody else, and the die might go off and then hit them, and then they take 2 life points away. Or if it's a grenade that's a gas grenade, then they're going to lose cards that they've been equipped, and everybody else gets to rob their equipped cards because they're knocked out on the ground.
I think the grenade thing feels like a very interesting hot potato for a moment there.
It's just a short moment of hot potato, but you got to watch it, because someone might have a grenade launcher equipped, and then you don't realize it, and then they just load it in their grenade launcher and shoot it back at you, and it's an automatically goes off.
Nice.
Then there's some random card. There's 3 cards in the deck that are sudden events, and you pause the game when those come up, and you draw from the event deck, and there's all kinds of things that'll happen, from nanobots to a sandstorm might come in, a tsunami hits, you find some extra medicine. Because there's also cards that'll help you to get more life points, which come in the form of these ration dice. So the ration dice is basically food and water, but the food might be radiated. So there's one side that will actually harm you, and then there's 3 sides that'll help you, and a side that's basically the food didn't do anything good or bad for you. So you have to be careful even when you're trying to help out. Yeah. So it's a very light, very laid back, game that's just a lot of fun and a lot of laughter and
It's a
camaraderie.
light, laid-back game about shooting people. Okay. I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah,
All
right,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. It's
All
all in
right.
jest, yeah. It's all very, very, very lighthearted. So that's Rusted Bullet, and it's been a lot of fun developing and just playing here at Unpub. The other game I have, and I don't have much of it with me right now because it's out in the other room being played.
You don't want to take a game away from people who are playing it. They'll bite your fingers off.
Yes. And it's called Rolling for Amusement, and it's a game where you are building amusement parks. And it's a dice game, kind of a push-your-luck Yahtzee type of feel of a dice game. And it plays 2 to 4 players, up to 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, as you're teaching it to people, and ages 8 and up.
Now, that was a game I had a chance to play last night, and I had a good time with it. It took us about 45 minutes to an hour when we played it, but we were learning it the first time. We were talking about it as we went, and it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I haven't got to play a whole lot of games, so I can't compare it to everything else I've played here, but of the few games I played, I liked it. And he's going to talk about it in a minute, but I'll look at the cards. Let me see when I can take one closer here. Even though I can take over. I like the cards because there's 4 different things that the cards can do. So you're building the card here. The blue one is. Oh, I'll let you do it because you're going to do it better. But I'm going to tell you that was a concept on the card. The cards are useful in 4 ways. They can be used at any times, but they're a finite resource within a round.
Yes.
So you've got to pay attention to whether you're using them to help you or hurt somebody else.
Right.
And know when is the good time to use stuff.
Yeah.
But go ahead, talk about that.
I don't have any of the dice here because they're all being used in the game out in the other room, but it is a dice rolling game with a push-your-luck element, but most push-your-luck type of games, it's kind of a solitary event where you're watching someone roll their dice and you're waiting for either of them to be done with their roll or to mess up. And then, okay, now I get my turn. Where other players are going to be undermining them. They're going to be kind of making it more difficult for each other to play, which incorporates a very large amount of hand management from your cards. So on a typical turn, you would pick a card from your hand and play it above your board to say, I'm going to build, or I'm going to attempt to build this particular park. So let's say the park would be Amish Wonderland. Love that park.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Dutch Wonderland, Amish Wonderland. So I'm going to say to everybody, I'm going to attempt to build this park, and I have to roll 4 children's park results and a water slide result within 3 rolls of the dice. And I don't have the dice here. But then it goes around the table, and the other players can play cards from their hand, and everybody has only 5 cards for the round. And they can play cards from their hand and try to undermine me and do the red part of their card, where I have to keep at least 1 die every roll, or the park also has a show, which it does. They have a neat diving show at Dutch Wonderland. But now I also have to roll a show result to build this park. Or just different cards that will really make it difficult for me to roll this. I have to eliminate one of the dice of my choosing. And there's 4 green dice, 2 blue, 1 red, and they all have different combinations on the dice. So then, after that's gone around, then I have to try to roll this combination in 3 rolls. But as I'm rolling, I can also play cards from my hand and do the blue part, which is good fortune, which is good for me. Like I might be able to turn any 1 green die into a water park result, which would be great because I need one of those. Or I could discard one of those red cards that was played against me and just take it out and say, I don't want to have to deal with that red card as it comes up. And the push your luck element comes that is if I built this park, which would be worth 6 points, I can choose to either score it and be done, or I could attempt to roll for another park. And then it goes around again, and other people can try to undermine me. But if I fail at this other park, I fail at all of them on that round.
That's a lot of shows on that card.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. That's one of the Upcott card is a tough one. And then the last little part at the bottom, the future planning, at the end of my turn when I'm all done, I could put that down, 1 card from my hand down here, and I can have that ongoing special ability for all my future turns. And I can have up to 3 of those throughout the game. And that's really helpful on those hard cards later.
Last night, my future plannings were amazing. I really liked all 3 of the ones that I had, so they were important. It's nice to note, or it's key to note that Your future planning is a card out of your hand, not what you've just built. What you've built and scored is scored. You don't get to use that as a future planning or as another card, but the future planning is another card that comes out of your hand. So just in the example that we did there, you just move one of the cards. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Right.
So
it's been fun. This is the first time I've brought it in public to play, and it seems that people are giving me good feedback and having a lot of fun with it.
yeah, I think my group really had a good time with that last night.
I think I'm having more fun than anybody just being here. So,
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you, Garrett, for coming out today and for bringing Rusted Bullet and Rolling for Amusement. You can find out more about both of those games on unpub.net. Do you have one anywhere else?
they're on the Geek. Both games are on the Geek right now. Just look up their names, and I'm on the Geek at Garrett. Just my first name, Garrett.
Wow. Okay, cool. Simple one to find then.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for talking to us, and go back out there and get to your playtest.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.